Fabulous. Okay, Popeyes.
So, in addition to writing a memoir, the dozen or so TV and film projects you have coming out, hosting a podcast, you also released an 18-song album called Just Kiki earlier this summer. And you know, the cover art is you as a doll in the box. I'm curious, what does that visual metaphor mean to you?
Well, I think, growing up in the industry, I've always been seen as a product, and I've always had to see myself as a product, especially as a kid when you're trying to, know who you are and then know how that connects to what it is you're doing. So I think it's really a metaphor for that, but also at the end of the day, having this conversation with my audience through the visuals where it's I'm just a girl at the end of the day. I'm just a mom, I'm just Kiki. I'm just somebody that's trying to figure it out. I know this is what I represent. I know this is who I've been, and I'm glad for that. But also, let's evolve together, and I really want you to know the me that created all this.
And then I think it's awesome that you self-funded this record. You put the visual album out on YouTube. I'm curious, can you pull back the curtain on what makes selling music through the traditional channels such a soul-sucking endeavor? Because you recently had this quote. You talked to The Cut. You said that you need to know how to speak to people who are not creative so that they can make more money.
Exactly. And that's why it becomes very difficult. But so in the traditional sense, you have gatekeepers, right? If you're signed to a label or if you're signed to a production company, and these things aren't bad. It's just about if you know what you need and why you chose that particular path. I think somebody like me was always going to be soul-sucking because that's not how I'm meant to do things. I'm a brand. I've always been multifaceted. And again, I think that's where it should go and it can go for others. That way you're not just solely dependent on one thing. You can actually, if you're making your music, you can put it in your movie, or you can do the album and you can collaborate with another company and you can do a visual, or there's so many other ways. And
or you can have a variety show motif and then all of a sudden Just Kiki, the variety show.
Exactly, yes,